Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. This is an important article that we found could save your life. It actually did save 2 lives here, and we want to go over it because it's a good reminder. And there's also steps that you can take to maybe prevent something like this from happening to you while you're on the road.
Now, we haven't done this in a while, and this is weird. We haven't done a video.
We're back in the kitchen.
In the kitchen in months. So we're home for about a month, a little over a month, and then we're headed out right after Christmas again for 3 months.
But we're headed on a cruise,
we figured, yeah, we're headed on a cruise. Actually, yeah, in a few days. So anyway, we do these PSA videos again. Haven't done it in a while because we've been traveling so much, but this is extremely important.
You also want to stay to the end of this video because we have some fun updates. We're also going to read some of the comments in this article, which is just reiterating why we're doing this, because there's a lot of misinformation out there. You'll know what we're talking about. Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe, notification bells on. That way, when we come out with these important videos, you'll get notified. So this is coming from RV Travel. This is some time back, October 18, 2025. We were just so busy putting out videos, we're getting to this one. RVers credit RVtravel.com with saving their lives after tire blowout. And this goes into pretty good detail on how their lives were saved.
So this has to do with an RVer named Chuck Cruz and his wife. They were traveling all summer of 2025. They were actually on the way back home on their last night of travel, headed back to southern Nevada. They have a 44-foot Class A, so we're very similar to them. And like every travel day, he said he would always check their tire pressures on their absolute pressure gauge, and he got his standard 90 pounds of pressure. Their TPMS had quit working about 1,500 miles previously while on this, which was a 6,000-mile summer adventure. He figured that it wasn't a major concern. He said, you know, TPMSs were not always around, people managed, whatever. He decided to just not do anything about it. This is where the absolutely terrifying, and I mean terrifying, and this is something that I think about actually when we start traveling out west, terrifying part happened on this trip.
So they were traveling on US 93 in Nevada. They had the cruise control set to 64 at a 70-mile-per-hour location. At 63 miles an hour, they heard a loud bang and they had a front tire blowout. Now that blowout was on the curb side, better known as the passenger side, and what was more scary, it was on a very narrow strip with really nowhere to go but down.
Right, they had actually gone from an 8-foot shoulder to an 8-inch shoulder when this happened.
And on the other side of that 8-inch shoulder was a 30-foot drop. Now, if you've seen videos of tire blowouts, especially on motorhome front tire blowouts, many times they result in loss of control of that motorhome. Many times that motorhome winds up on its side, across medians, because what happens is all that energy goes to one side, people try to counteract it, and they just lose it. There is a technique for countering that, and you have to practice it. We're going to talk about it in here.
Some things that helped him, he had his cruise control on, and it was on an upward hill. So if he had been going downhill, it would have been...
It was in gaining speed.
Yeah, it would have been really bad. But this is where the title of the article came in, is that he, in 1 second, he remembered some articles that he had read from RVtravel.com, which they provide wonderful information. They really do. But he took himself back to that article, and it really saved his life.
So what the driver of this motorhome did, and what is completely counterintuitive to what people do, normally you hit the brake. That's what's going to cause you to lose control. He mashed the accelerator, and what that does, it takes the energy off those front tires. That way you're not losing control. Driver was then gradually slowed down and was able to keep control of the motorhome. Now, this wasn't all positive. There was a lot of damage to the motorhome. We'll put a picture here. You can see it's an Anthem, and there's a significant amount of damage on it.
It's miraculous that they survived this. And broken hydraulic line fitting, $40. But he said it. We survived. The love of my life is still alive. Stuff, parts can be replaced. God was watching over them that day, 100%.
A couple things that you can learn from this article. Chuck did absolutely the right thing. He mashed that accelerator, take that energy off the front tires, and then you're able to control and gradually bring that to a halt, which is what he did. I would imagine he has replayed this in his mind, right? Before, what am I going to do? And we talk about defensive driving. I know I do this all the time. I'm always scanning the road, What about, especially on next to trucks, what about if this truck has a blowout? Where am I going to escape to? You have to have those escape routes. He didn't really have that escape route here because it was only 8 inches. Yeah. But I'm sure he was mentally prepared, because you wouldn't have that kind of reaction if you weren't playing this over your mind all the time and kind of practicing that.
Exactly. And what Chuck said, he said, would I have had the insight or natural response to mash the accelerator? Maybe. Would it have been instinctual? Maybe. Would I trade the 15 minutes I dedicated to reading that RVtravel.com article about blowouts a few months back? No chance, my friends. That one is a hard no. So that article, it saved his life. And again, this is why we do these videos, because a lot of people, especially newbies and things, they don't know, and they don't practice things in their head. And it's so important to do that when you're out there.
Now we're gonna go over a few things maybe Chuck didn't know about, and maybe you don't know about. Obviously, if you have a blowout, you do wanna mash the accelerator, but there are things in here, there's a couple of red flags in here that maybe could have prevented it. We're gonna talk about it. The first one, the TPMS. TPMS wasn't working. Now, would that have prevented a blowout? We don't know. It could have been an instant blowout, but if things were heating up prior, there's no way he would have known his TPMS wasn't working. So every RV out there, especially motorhome, you should have a TPMS on the motorhome itself or towed vehicle itself, tow vehicle, also whatever you're towing. Because there's no way. You have a flat, I know us, we have a Tahoe, we got 45,000 pounds towing, 5,300 pounds. There's no way we're knowing we have a flat. If our TPMS goes off and there's something going on, then at least we know.
Another thing, and Chuck was actually in the comments of this article answering some of the questions that people had. His tires were just over 6 years. Now, many people, I know Michelin says 10 years. We are like 5. You know,
that's not what the RV industry says.
No,
Michelin says that, but not the RV industry.
No, they say like between 5 and 7-ish. We tend to stay, we're more conservative. We tend to stay on the lower end of that. So the tires could have definitely been coming to the end of their life.
Well, they were getting ready. This was the last trip on those tires.
Right, this is the end of their travels. Another thing that we highly recommend, and if you watch us regularly, you know that we had Retroband put into our front tires. You get these in your front tires because if you do have a blowout like this and you have 8 inches of shoulder, this is going to keep you on the road. That tire keeps going. The band inside will keep that tire on the road, and something like this wouldn't happen.
And more importantly, the band inside, since it goes up about 4 inches above the wheel, you're going to ride on that band. Yeah. So you're not riding on the rim. That's where you lose the control, because the motorhome drops to one side, things start happening, and then it's just that whole chain reaction. Mm-hmm. So with that retro band, not only does it keep the tire on, you keep control, and the damage that you have is minimized. Yeah. It's well worth it. If you have a motorhome, definitely look into it. They're available at National Indoor RV Centers. We have them on Stella, had them on Nelly. It's something we will not drive without. We talked about some of the comments on this article. Most of them were, they appreciated it. They got the information they needed. Of course, there's always a troll and a hater. We don't want you to get bad information. There's definitely bad information in this comment, so we're going to highlight it.
So Mr. T said, it's easy to see this article is fake. $300 for a new RV tire? No way. Would not even come close. Digging a hole to put a jack to lift up the coach, because Chuck was talking about what the people did when they came to help him. You're kidding, right? You did not know you have built-in hydraulic jacks that could lift that coach up off the ground plenty high enough to change a tire. And yes, unless those were some kind of China bomb tires, 10 years is what Michelin recommends. No RVer should be listening to that. And you know there's a huge CYA factor in there. Yeah, and Chuck actually responded. He said $300 was just the tip. The tire was $600 and the service call was $500.
Again, we want you to be safe. So let's get into some other information, what we've been up to. Well, first thing, if you watched our videos, you know we have new limited edition hats that MJ is going to show you right now. 1 month, these are for sale. 75 available of each color.
Yep, so we have 2 black, one has the dark stones, one has the light stones, and then we have 2 grays, one with the light stones and one with the dark stones.
Now, we did a full video on these. This was created by our supplier, so it's a small business. It's done in the United States, which is pretty awesome.
Right, and these are not the hats. These are just sample hats. They're going to be very high quality. I forget.
New Era, yes.
So real high quality hats. These are great Christmas gifts. You have to order them by December 13th if you want them delivered in time for Christmas. But they will be on sale through December 20th. It's a 30-day limited edition. People really wanted the bling last time, and a lot of people missed out. So here's your chance.
They'll be in the merchandise store in the link below. Last thing, you might be following us on social media. If you're not, definitely Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, of course, YouTube. what have we been up to? You said you've been home for a month. We've been home for a month. Well, first of all, a lot of cleaning. We're getting our house ready to go on sale, but just you can imagine the amount of leaves we had when we came home. But we've been taking up a new, I'm really loving this, a new hobby. And put in the comments below, what is this? We want you might not know what it is, but if you know, you know, put in the comments below.
You know, yes.
But we have been baking our own homemade sourdough bread. We're pumping out 2 to 3 loaves a day. Freezing, and we're stocking up.
So again, you know, we're retired now. I mean, we have YouTube, which keeps us very, very busy working every day. But this is something that we both enjoy it.
This for a while.
But he has been nonstop pumping out the breads. Jason just left to go back to school after Thanksgiving break. Today, he gave him 2 loaves to take back for him and his friends. Yeah, and we're going to start branching out now and trying other things. As he was looking up sourdough chocolate chip cookies, I want to make rye bread. We're going to try all pizza dough.
We start working on designs. I tried to do an LU on it yesterday, but like it didn't work. Like you couldn't see it when it was done. But whatever. That's what we've been up to. We have a cruise coming up very soon, and then we're heading out for the winter. We'll be down in Florida for the Tampa show, and then we'll be at some other places, but we're not coming back until the snow is gone. We're supposed to get 3 to 5 inches coming up, and I'm not happy about that.
We need warm.
In the comments below, let us know, what do you think about this article? Hopefully you learned something. We're all here learned something. We do want to thank Chuck
Cruz
for sharing this.
And thank God he and his wife are okay. I'm so happy about that.
And if you're interested in that retro band video, we have a full video on the install, what it is. We'll link it right up here. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the road.